The pandemic really changed life for a lot of people. And so this couple moved to Bengaluru to eke out a living. The strength out here is that Pushparaj knows his seafood really well.
Muru, disco, squid, crab, prawn, ಮತ್ತೆ ಬಂಗಡ.
So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಈಗ ಮಲ್ಪೆಯಿಂದ ಬರುದಾ?
ಮಲ್ಪೆಯಿಂದ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
This muru mean is at a different level altogether. That's a big specimen of the disco. Time to get to some of that 80. The quality of the prawn in this is pristine. Now for some of that denji. Oh, this is a crab that is quite weighty. Namaskara folks, this is Kripal Amanna, Gourmet on the Road, and you're watching Food Lovers TV. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe and strong. So over the last few weeks, we've made an effort to identify small businesses that fly under the radar for the most part. Very few people know of these except for those in the neighborhood. So we've relied on our community of food lovers to help us point to these businesses who are doing good work but perhaps could use with a bit of recognition. We've already shot a few episodes in this initiative, and today we are on our way to another such small eatery here in BTM layout, South Bengaluru. So this eatery is run by a couple who moved from South Canara post the pandemic. We don't think about it so much now, but the pandemic really changed life for a lot of people. And so this couple moved to Bengaluru to eke out a living. They tried a couple of things, but it didn't work out. And now over the last 1 year or so, they've set up this tiny, quite literally hole in the wall eatery to serve some Malpe style seafood. So we're at this place called Shoaling Fish, and of course, apart from the fact that it's a small enterprise, it was also the Mangalorean in the fish meal that got me interested. Well, this is a very tiny eatery, about 10 or 12 people can sit at a time. So what's special out here is that the seafood is procured from Malpe on a regular basis. So it's a very non-pretentious, cozy sort of atmosphere. It's not about the frills, but I think more importantly about what comes from that kitchen within. Namaskara. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ನಾನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಒಳಗೆ ಬರ್ಬೋದಾ? So I'm with Pushparaj and his wife Sachita.
Hello.
Namaskara. So I'd heard about them from one of our viewers, and so yesterday I did a surprise visit. I did a surprise visit here just to find out what the food was like and what this place was all about. And having tasted 3 or 4 dishes, I said, well, it certainly deserves an episode. So ನಿಮಗೆ ಇದು ರೆಸ್ಟೋರೆಂಟ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಆಯ್ತು?
1 year. This May we finish 1 year.
ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಮಲ್ಪೆಯಿಂದ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಆದದ್ದು ಯಾವಾಗ?
ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ 1.5 year ಆಯ್ತು.
1.5 year ಆಯ್ತು.
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ, ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ.
At the fishing harbour.
ಫಿಶಿಂಗ್ ಹಾರ್ಬರ್. ಕೊರೋನಾ ನಂತರ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪಾರ್ಕ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಏನಾದರೂ ನಾನು ಸ್ವಂತ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಏನಾದರೂ ಅಂತ.
So Pushparaj used to work at the fishing harbour in Malpe. So as the trawlers would come in with the fresh catch, he would be involved in various aspects of processing that fish.
ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಾನು ಫಿಶ್ ಇದೊಂದು ಹೀಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಹೀಗೆ ಶಾಪ್ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು ಆ ಥರ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ಸೈಡಲ್ಲಿ ಹೀಗೆ ಫುಡ್ ಇದು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಆ ಥರ ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ವಿ. ಆದರೆ ನನಗೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಪಾಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸಿಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ನಂದು ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಆಗಿದ್ದು.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ ಕಿಚನ್ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ?
ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ ಕಿಚನ್ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಲಿಲಿಕ್ಕಿತ್ತು. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ ಕಿಚನ್ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡಿ
ಫ್ಯಾಂಟಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್.
ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಒಳ್ಳೇದಿತ್ತು, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾನು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಇದನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡೆ.
ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್. He also roped you in.
Yeah.
So ನೀವು ಮಲ್ಪೆಲಿ ಇದ್ರಿ? You were working?
Yeah, I was working there. I was working there.
So when he opened his restaurant, you came here to support him?
Yeah, correct.
Fantastic. So food cooking ಎಲ್ಲ ಯಾರು ಮಾಡೋದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ?
ಇಬ್ರು ಸೇರಿನೇ
ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಈಗ ಸ್ಟಾಫಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಹೇಳಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಅವರು ಸಹ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
ಸೊ ಇವರು ಮೂರಿದ್ದಾರೆ?
ಇವರು 3 ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಮನೆ ಊಟ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಅದು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ.
And I think the strength out here is that Pushparaj knows his fish, knows his seafood really well because he was in that business. ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಇದ್ರಿ ನೀವು ಅದು ಸೀ ಫುಡ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ?
ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ 20 ಇಯರ್ಸ್.
20 ಇಯರ್ಸ್. ನಿಮ್ದು ಏಜ್ ಎಷ್ಟಾಯಿತು?
ನನಗೆ 38 ಆಯಿತು.
ಓ, ಸೊ 18
ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ನಾನು
so since 16 he was in Malpe harbour. Watching the fish, sorting the fish, selling the fish, so he definitely knows his seafood.
ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ 80% ಫಿಶ್ ಮಲ್ಪೆಯಿಂದ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ನು 20% ಫಿಶ್ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ತಗೊಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಮಲ್ಪೆ ಅವರದೇ ಅಂಗಡಿ. ನನ್ನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಅವರು.
ಸೊ ಏನಿದು? ಚಿಕನ್ ಸುಕ್ಕ.
ಚಿಕನ್ ಸುಕ್ಕ ಮಸಾಲ ಇರ್ತದೆ ನಮ್ದು, ಗ್ರೌಂಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಮೀ ಓನ್ಲಿ.
ಓ, ಓಕೆ. And this is what, roasted coconut?
This is roasted coconut, yeah. Final touch is roasted coconut.
Fantastic. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬಣ್ಣ ಇದೆ.
ಬ್ಯಾಡಗಿ ಮೆಣಸು and then ಸ್ಪೈಸಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗುಂಟೂರು ಕೂಡ ಹಾಕ್ತೇವೆ. ಗರಂ ಮಸಾಲ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ.
I love the aroma that's emanating from that vessel of chicken sukka. So these are your mother's recipes.
Yeah, my mom.
ಮತ್ತೆ Pushparaj ನೀವು?
ನನ್ನ ಮಮ್ಮಿ
ಅವರ ಮಮ್ಮಿದು
ಇಲ್ಲೇ
ರೆಸಿಪಿ
ಇದ್ದಿದ್ರು.
ಓ, ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ದು ಮಮ್ಮಿ ಇದ್ರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ?
ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದು 2 ಮಂತ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದು.
2 months ಇದ್ರು. ಇದು ಕ್ರ್ಯಾಬ್ ಏನು ಸುಕ್ಕ ಮಾಡೋದಾ?
ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಲೈಕ್ ಹೀಗೆ ನಾವು ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಡ್ತೇವೆ. As and when the order comes, we'll cook it. Like if it's sukka, to sukka. If somebody orders for ghee roast, then ghee roast. By 12 we finish all the cooking and 12 o'clock ಗೆ
Restaurant open
ಆಗ್ತದೆ.
So it's about 12 o'clock now. We came in a little early because we just wanted to take a look at the dishes as they were being prepared. Certainly when I look at these dishes and also from the tasting that I had yesterday, these are the sort of dishes that you would taste at someone's home. Perhaps at Sachita's home or at Pushparaj's home.
ಇದು ಇವತ್ತು ಬಂದದ್ದು ಹೊಸ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಇದು.
ಇದು ಮಲ್ಪೆಯಿಂದ ಬಂದದ ಇವತ್ತು? ಓ, ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್.
3 ಡಿಸ್ಕೋ, ಸ್ಕ್ವಿಡ್, ಕ್ರ್ಯಾಬ್, ಪ್ರಾನ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬಂಗಡ.
ಸೊ ಇದು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ?
ಒಂದು 2 ಡೇಸ್ಗೆ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ.
ಸೊ ಒಂದು ವೀಕ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ವೈಸ್ ಆರ್ ಥ್ರೈಸ್ ಮಲ್ಪೆಯಿಂದ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? Fantastic. I can see some disco fish there. The disco fish is also called the fin bulleye because when they catch it, it's got big bulbous eyes and these eyes flash in the dark, and that's why that fish is called the disco meenu. It's also a fish that's fairly economical in its cost, and that's why it's also very popular. Idu denji ellinda?
Adu kuda Malpeinda.
Malpeinda. So those are those blue crabs, the sea crab that we saw his wife cook there. Idu etti kuda chanage size ide. Enu count adu?
25 to
30 count. And there's some squid as well.
This is chicken curry. Koli rottige.
Koli rottige. ಸೊ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ?
ಫಿಶ್ ಕರಿ ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ.
ಫಿಶ್ ಕರಿ.
3 ಫಿಶ್.
ಓ, 3 ಫಿಶ್ ಕರಿ. There's also a fish that is fleshier than the typical sardine etc. that gets used for the fish curry. Well, we've taken a look at the kitchen and all that we wanted to see. I think what's interesting out here is the fact that both Pushparaj and Sachita are involved in the cooking. They're cooking basically recipes that their mothers would cook for them. And I'm told when they began the restaurant, their mothers also came here to help them set it up a bit because they don't have the experience of running a restaurant. And I think what plays a major role in the quality of the seafood is that Pushparaj knows his fish really well. From the age of 16 or 17, he worked at the docks in Malpe. And he brings that understanding of seafood into this tiny eatery. And also he sources the seafood from his friends at Malpe Dakke. So I think that's what makes Shoaling Fish Corner interesting. And needless to say, I am certainly looking forward to my meal here. So ಏನು ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ ನನಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು?
ಪ್ರಾನ್ ಇದೆ, ಸ್ಕ್ವಿಡ್ ಇದೆ, ಡಿಸ್ಕೋ, ಸಿಲ್ವರ್ ಫಿಶ್, ಬಂಗಡ ಮತ್ತೆ ಭೂತ ಇದೆ.
ನಿನ್ನೆ ನಿಮ್ಮದು ನಾನು ಪ್ರಾನ್ ಘೀ ರೋಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿದಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ನನಗೆ ಪುನಃ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ದೆಂಜಿಲಿ ಏನು ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ?
ದೆಂಜಿ ಸುಕ್ಕ.
ದೆಂಜಿ ಸುಕ್ಕ ಕೊಡಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಚಿಕನ್
ಪೆಪ್ಪರ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಫಿಶ್ ತಾಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಇವತ್ತು? 3
ಫಿಶ್ ಇದು ಸಾಂಬಾರ್ ಇದೆ.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಫ್ರೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ ನನಗೆ?
ಡಿಸ್ಕೋ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ. ಕಿಂಗ್ ಫಿಶ್ ರವಾ, ಡಿಸ್ಕೋ ತವಾ
ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫಿಶ್ ಮೀಲ್ಸ್. Also, the prices here are the sort that are quite modest. So the fries are about 100, 150 or so. The disco is 150. The silver fish is 100. I just saw the silver fish there. I think I must ask them to do a silver fish for me. Bolanjir idea? Nange anjal beda. Nange silver fish kodi ravali. Well, the banana leaf is here. That means the food can't be too far behind. And this is another touch that I like. Reminds me of South Canada, of being served a meen uta in a bale ele. Some salad. Enide palya? Enidu?
Dry fish chutney.
Dry fish chutney. Oh. I can certainly feel the heat of the chili in that. Thank you. So I tasted the curry yesterday too, but I thought it was a tad less impressionable yesterday. Now, when he ladled the curry onto my rice itself, I could taste the punch, the potency of that curry. Crab sukka, 80 ghee roast. Well, I have all the dishes that I've ordered for out here. The bedrock of a fish meal is the rice, which is the red rice, the boiled rice, and a curry. So for this curry, they've used the smaller muru mean. You've got a fish chutney, palya, which is the coarse palya, the cabbage, and some salad there of some cucumber and onions. And then, of course, I've got the other stars out here at Shoaling Fish Corner. I've got a crab, and this blue crab, they're sourced from Malpe just this morning. So it's made into a sukka. I've got a rava fry of the bolanjir, the silver fish, disco. This fish is also called the fin bulai. I have the yeti ghee roast. I have the chicken pepper fry and some extra bisi curry on the side. I think enough talking, let's get to the eating. Some chilies here certainly tells you that this is going to be a fish curry that's going to be kadak. I can taste the sourness of the tamarind and the heat of some chilies. What I want to do is soak up that fish in a little more curry. I tasted this in a sardine yesterday, but this muru mean or the grouper, tiny though it may be, is at a different level altogether. Very nice. Ninnekinta ivattu curry dum ide.
Sardine fish.
Sardine ittu.
Dodda meenella fry ge ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಸಣ್ಣ ಸೈಜ್ ಮೀನು ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದು that goes.
I just love the flavor of that muru mean. There's also a slight edge of sweetness to that fish, to the flesh of the fish. And what's lingering on my tongue is the warm heat from that curry. I've got to remind myself to reach for some of that fiber every once in a while. Be it the cucumber or the coarse palya. I think next I'm going to go for some of that disco. That's a big specimen of the disco. Get some of that onto my banana leaf. I like the fact that there's a crust of that masala on that fish. ಇದು ಮಸಾಲೆಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಿರ್ಕ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ? There's a bit of the tartness that comes from some vinegar in that masala. So they use a combination of the byadgi, they use the guntur to balance between the heat and the color, but then they also use some vinegar to give that punch of tartness. Idralli ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇದು ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ? ಹುಣಸೆ ಹಣ್ಣು ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ? ಮಸಾಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಲ್ಲ? ತವಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ? ಅಂಟಾಗ್ತದೆ. What I really love is the manner in which that masala is holding on to the flesh of the fish. I like that bit of a crusty bite before my teeth sink into the flaky. texture of the fish. So good. In the muru mean, in the curry, I could taste a bit of that slight lilt of sweetness, which is a character of the fish. But out here, I can taste the salinity of the ocean. Let's reach for one of the bolengir. ಇದು ಏನು ಎಣ್ಣೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ?
Sunflower deep fry use ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಮತ್ತೆಲ್ಲ coconut oil.
So I'm told that the deep fry is done in the refined oil, but the other tava fry is done in the coconut oil. So I could taste a slight difference in the oil that was used in this. The bolengir is the perfect size. You got the crunch of the rava followed by the soft crunch of the fish, flesh, bones and all. This is a perfect fish if you're sitting at home in an evening, chilling out, you got a drink with you, you want to reach for something to eat, fish, bone and all, well that bolengir rava fry certainly is the fish for that. I think next we're going to try some of that chicken pepper fry. So this preparation begins life as a chicken sukka, and then I think they toss it on the tava with some pepper and some masala etc. to transform it into the pepper fry. The chicken is tasty, but I guess out here is the seafood preparations that shine. Time to get to some of that eatery. I just walked in for lunch yesterday. They did not know I was coming. So I think they were quite shocked when I arrived here. So I ordered the fish meal. I ordered the ghee roast. I ordered the disco and also the chicken sukka. I really enjoyed the ghee roast and the disco tava fry. So I said I must order them again. I love the manner in which that ghee roast masala is holding on to the prawn. You can taste the lushness of the tuppa. There's a bit of the heat that you're tasting of the chili and the masala. But what they also do is they balance that out with a bit of sugar. The quality of the prawn in this is pristine. Just got that slightest springy bite in its texture. Pushparaj certainly knows his seafood well. So I asked him, I said, where do you get the ghee roast recipe? He said, well, I watched a lot of ghee roast being made. I experimented, added my own touch. And I guess his mother, his mother-in-law and his wife have all contributed in the making of this masala. So this masala certainly has that heat, but you also taste a bit of that sweet lilt that comes from the sugar, and I guess in this case also the saline sweetness of the prawn. And out here they use fresh prawns, not the frozen prawn, and that makes a lot of difference. Get some of that ghee roast masala with the rice. I'm enjoying my meal here. I think time to get some more bisi saru on the rice. I'm also now drinking up that saru. I'm quite enjoying this muru mean curry. Typically when you come for a fish meal, the fish that you get in the curry is the sort that lends flavor to the curry but isn't really a star. So you would order for a fry on the side. And much as you enjoy the fry, in the case of this muru curry, if I didn't have a fry, I'm still enjoying the flavor of that fish. It's got enough to suggest that I'm having a tasty fish uta. Idu unlimited, rice unlimited.
Fish ಒಂದು 2 piece ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ.
2 piece ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ. So the fish meal is unlimited, the rice is unlimited, saru is unlimited, and you'll get a couple of pieces of the fish. And I guess that's the reason why you'll order for a fish fry on the side. Very good. This recipe ಯಾರ್ದು ನಿಮ್ದು ತಾಯಿದಾ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ತಾಯಿದಾ?
ಓಮ ಇರ್ತದಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಅವರ ಮಮ್ಮಿ ಹಾಕುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ನನ್ನ ಮಮ್ಮಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ.
What's interesting is that although both of them are from South Canada, the wife spent time in Bombay. So there would be a little of that influence, and I'm told there's some oma or some carom seeds that goes into this curry that Pushparaj's mom doesn't use. So it's interesting to see how the recipe for this fish curry has evolved. The simple things give you so much pleasure. I've enjoyed all these dishes in varying degrees of likeness, but that muru in that curry is quite tasty, and I think the sort that I will definitely ask for another small piece of. Nange on chikkatun muru means agboda. While I wait for that, muru means some more prawn, 80 gyros. The flavor of the tuppa and that masala has seeped into that prawn. This masala is almost a little jammy in its texture, with a slight edge of sweetness. I think it's the first time I'm eating the muru in a fish meal. I'm quite enjoying it. I must advise them to try and stick to that muru in that fish curry as much as possible. The sardine and all of that you get everywhere, but this is unusual. ಇದು ಮುರು ಮೀನ್ ಕರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ವರ್ಕೌಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಮಿಡಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ದು ಫಿಶ್ ಪ್ರೊಕ್ಯೂರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಡಿಮೆ. I think that makes a difference, and I guess that's what they're able to pass on to you in the prices on the menu here. ಇದು ಬಹಳ ಟೇಸ್ಟಿ ಇದೆ ಕರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೂಪರ್. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್, ಸ್ವೀಟ್. That's right.
ಇದು deep sea fish ಇದೆ, ಎರಡು ಮರು ಮತ್ತೆ
disco. That's the sweetness that I latched on to right in the beginning. So I was advising Pushparaj that as much as possible he should try and do this muru in the fish curry, so that even when you watch and you arrive at Shoaling Fish Corner, hopefully you'll find this too. Now for some of that denji. So you get a full crab sukka for 200 rupees. Like I have to get some of that masala with all that toasted coconut. I love the toasty notes of the coconut that have soaked up that masala. There's also a bit of a salty edge to it, but I think that will be offset by the sweet fleshy character of this crab. Oh, this is a crab that is quite weighty in its fleshiness. I love that slightly saline sweetness of that crab. That is delicious. Get some of that masala as well. When it comes to a crab, you got to employ both hands, because just to help you fry all the flesh out. What I like here is the fact that this crab is laden. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮೀಟ್ ಇದೆ ಒಳಗೆ. So Pushparaj is telling me that it's his friends who dispatched the fish from Malpe for him, and they have as much experience as he does. So they make sure they send him the right catch. So whatever is in its prime, that's what they load onto the bus that departs Mangaluru to reach Pushparaj the next morning here in BTM layout. Every bite it's rewarding me with its fleshiness. I'm going to make sure that I scrape out every bit of that crab flesh. So good. And even the masala is quite potent. So it's a sort that complements that saline sweetness of the crab really well, especially with that toasted coconut. ನಿನ್ನೆ ನಾನು ಸುಕ್ಕ ಟೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಮದು, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ನನಗೆ ಇದು ಕ್ರ್ಯಾಬ್ ಸುಕ್ಕ. ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಸುಕ್ಕ ಮಸಾಲ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಸೂಪರ್ ಇದೆ, ವೆರಿ ನೈಸ್. ಅಂದರೆ ನಿನ್ನೆ ಚಿಕನ್ ಸುಕ್ಕ ವಾಸ್ ಫೈನ್, ಬಟ್ ಇದು ಬೇರೆ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಆ ಥರ. ಇದು ಸುಕ್ಕದು ರೆಸಿಪಿ ಯಾರ್ದು? ನಿಮ್ಮದೇ? ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಮಮ್ಮಿದು ರೆಸಿಪಿ. ಫ್ಯಾಂಟಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್. ದೇ ನೋ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು ರೆಸಿಪಿ ಯಾರದು. ಸೂಪರ್. This is a manner in which you should enjoy crab, bit by bit. Once you're done with the most obvious parts, the belly, and when all of that is finished, then you move to the limbs. I think it's also time to bid goodbye to you as I focus all my energy, all my attention on making quick work of this crab sukka. So if you love your seafood fare, especially the Mangalorean seafood fare, and want to taste delicious preparations that are made from fine, fresh marine specimens that are bussed from Mangaluru to Bengaluru on a regular basis, definitely find your way to Shoaling Fish Corner. Taste all that I've tasted and also meet the very friendly couple Pushparaj and Sachita while you lunch or dine here. That's it for this episode of Gourmet on the Road. Until the next time, take care, stay safe, stay strong, and happy eating. Well, all that we've tasted and which could easily feed 4 people amounts to just under 1200.
Received Paytm payment of 1,205.
Well, I wanted something cooling after all that marine indulgence. They said you should try the buttermilk, but they also had a buttermilk soda. Oh. Nice and spicy and fizzy. Delicious. If you'd like to support the work that we do at Food Lovers TV, do consider joining our membership community on YouTube by hitting the join button below or on the home page, and receive special privileges like behind the scenes footage, shoot updates, access to live Q&As, and a lot more. You could support us on our Patreon page as well. For more info, check out the links in the description below. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment below. Happy eating.